Now you're gonna have to go and get naked for me.
Oh, okay, I'll go, okay.
Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Chick-doom, chick-doom, chick-chick. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Chick-doom, chick-doom, chick-chick. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Chick-doom, chick-doom. Chick-chick. Okay, wait, that's enough. You don't have to get that naked. Stop. Buckle that back up. I need to get your jacket.
And just so we're clear, I called her bluff.
Just all kinds of talking without being mic'd up. Thank you for the sound editor.
I called your bluff.
Oh my God. All right, so Rob's mic'd up and we're keeping it PG. Sorry for the obtrusive situation we've got going on here, but our really expensive microphones aren't working at the moment, are they?
No, I feel like calling them out, but I'm not going to.
We're waiting on a response. The sound engineer in particular is really waiting. But today, we've got some fitting tips for you, especially if you're going to be fitting with a toile.
Toile.
A toile.
A toile.
I normally don't make a toile for myself, but when I'm sewing for my husband, when I'm sewing for Rob, I do make a toile because you is what we call finicky.
No, I'm not.
It's the truth. It's the truth, Ruth. Here we have, as we noted last week, Vogue Patterns 2616. The blazer slash jacket slash tuxedo, I don't know what you call it, portion, because when all this started, I was only supposed to make you a jacket. Do you remember that?
When all this started, how long ago was that when all of this started?
I don't know. I'm going to have to check my notes, and I don't have them on me. The first tip that I have for you when you're fitting from a toile, when you're sewing from a toile, you want to be sure that your seams are on the outside. I didn't sew this up as if the seams are going to be on the inside like you would a regular jacket, because I want to be able to see these seams on the body of Rob right here. So that's my first tip for you. That's a real quick tip. There's nothing really more to say about that. Let's get this on you.
Oh boy.
Now, on Rob's toile, I have marked everything. I've marked where the welt pockets are going to go. I've marked center front. I've marked the length and shorten line. I've marked the darts. Can you do a little spinny spin for everybody? Thank you. I've marked center back. You can see it's kind of poofing out a little bit here. That's something we're going to have to address.
What's up with the poof?
Listen, we're going to fix it. Can I have you turn to the front, please, again? Well, thank you. Well, thank you. So good. Okay. If you're going to wear this buttoned, right?
You always wear a jacket buttoned unless you sit down and then you unbutton it. When you're standing, you button it.
Well, there's an extra tip for you that, you might not have known. Here you
It's
go.
a fine jacket like this.
Oh, it's going to be a fine jacket, eh? A fine jacket. Well, okay,
Better
so
be.
now you want to make sure when you're pinning, and, hopefully you're not pinning for a YouTube channel and having to do it. I hate you so much. You're so red right now.
Oh, it felt so good.
Here's my second tip for fitting with a toile. A toile. Start at the shoulders, right? Okay, I showed you in the back portion that we have a little bit of a
Poof, we called it. It was called a
happening here.
poof.
A poof. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Technical term?
Yeah. But you want to start at the shoulders because fixing the fit of the shoulders can erase a lot of other problems that you won't even have to address because they'll be gone. They won't be there to address. Right here at the shoulder, you probably could have some taken in. Remembering that a fine tuxedo will have some sort of shoulder pad situation in it. So I have to account for that. Why don't you give yourself a look in the mirror and see if you like how those shoulders are fitting?
It seems a little wonky.
A little wonky? Well, that's because it's not an actual seam, Rob. It's going to be an actual seam. Finicky.
You asked my opinion.
Next, we're going to move down to the waist and see how the waist is sitting and fitting.
Because it feels a little flary right now.
Feels a little flary right now?
Don't you think? You look at it, it's like flares, like the
Okay,
flare.
okay.
Am I wrong?
Let's face forward.
Am I wrong?
I was addressing the waist, not the flare, but
Oh, well, what do I know? Toile.
finicky. Here's my length and shorten line. The length and shorten line is a wonderful thing in fitting. It can erase a lot of issues and it helps to accentuate where your waist hits. Now on this pattern, they didn't mark the waist, so I'm looking for the indentation on the side seam, and it seems like the waist is right about here. Which seems a bit high on you.
Seems high to me. That feels like a rib.
Give me a bend.
A rib.
A rib. That's your rib?
know-
Give me a bend from side to side. So that's your waist.
That's my waist?
Yeah.
My waist feels like it's down here.
Well, that's because you wear super low rise pants. Now, Rob's natural waist is actually quite a bit higher than where he likes to wear his pants. So I'm not going to fuss too much with it. I ain't going to fuss too much with it.
Well, fuss too much, fuss too much.
I'm going to fuss too much with it. But normally, your length and shorten line is where you're really going to pay attention. Is the waist of your garment falling above or below where you want your waist to sit on your body? If that's the case, the length and shorten line is going to help you there. The length and shorten line is a wonderful thing.
Sounds like it.
Everyone should be using it. Next tip, find the dart, or find where the fabric is not doing what you want it to do and make it do what you want it to do. Now,
Right.
I'm seeing, right?
Crack that whip on that.
Make that fabric your. The back is where I want to show you how to make the fabric yo stitch. Make the fabric yo stitch. That works, doesn't it? That keeps it peachy. That's going on a t-shirt. Right back here, Rob has a lot of excess. Let's turn to the side and show them that excess. Look at all that excess, right? Well, there's a great center back seam here already. So we're just going to pinch that in a bit until we like where it sits. All right, that's taken in a bit, and I'm not going too far on these alterations because I'm gonna sew these changes up again in this toile and have Rob try on the toile and be sure it's still going in the right direction. You don't want to go too crazy because, you want to leave yourself some room for Babe, you might have a bit of a sway back. A bit of a sway back because you see how there's a nice big just fold right here? That means this is going to have to come up a bit. That's a sway back. It could also be called a cute booty. You do have a cute booty.
Ooh, nice.
You gotta account
You
for
have a
that
sway
cute
back?
booty. I have a sway back, yeah.
Oh, so we both have sway back.
Yeah, we both have cute booties.
So there you go.
Look at all that excess fabric. You don't want that. So I'm going to fold up on the length and shorten line, and I'm going to grade out to nothing at the side seam. A lot of these adjustments are quickie, just for a first run to
Just
see
a
how
quickie.
it goes. Just a quickie.
That's what she said.
And turn it around. Wherever darts already exist in your garment, you can pinch those in or let them out a little bit. But if I was making a shirt for Rob and not a jacket, I could throw some fisheye darts here, right here and here. Don't let the pattern dictate where your darts go.
I'm gonna dictate.
That's right. You can be the master of the darts. So if this was a shirt, I'd throw a fisheye dart in here and here rather than taking it in from center back. Play with the fabric, make the fabric yo stitch. My last tip for you is to leave a trail of breadcrumbs. Do you know what that means, Rob?
It means if you're Hansel and Gretel out in the middle of the woods, leave a trail of breadcrumbs so that they get eaten by birds and you can't find your way back, and then you get thrown in an oven and get eaten by a witch.
That's not exactly where I was going with it.
Yeah.
But that is the literal story. What I'm talking about is leave a trail of breadcrumbs for yourself. These pins that I put here, I'm actually...
But if you say leave a trail of breadcrumbs, that's really not a good analogy because the breadcrumbs disappear. So maybe it's a trail of something else.
Leave a trail of pen marks.
Perfect, see?
It doesn't really just fall trippingly off the tongue. Leave a trail of pen marks.
I'm just...
You having a good time?
Yeah.
I'm going to leave a trail of breadcrumbs for myself and write directly on the toile. That's another good thing about a toile, which is this is not fabric that's ever going to be worn. So I can just write all over this jammy. And I'm also going to write a note to myself. Leave room for shoulder. This is just fun. Pad.
It kind of tickles.
Also, what I'm going to do is take copious handwritten notes in my little sewing journal about the journey of this jacket. You know, just in case I start working on this jacket and I put it aside for a little bit and I come back months later and...
Why would you put it aside and come back months later?
Sometimes it happens.
Why would you do that?
It's just another really good tip here.
Just
this
a
is
tip.
Tip number... Leave yourself notes as if you're going to start sewing this, walk away for a year. You notice how it went from a month to a year.
I did notice that. And here's a tip. Here's another tip. If you're going to make something for your significant other, if you start it, say 5 years later, why don't you just finish the dadgum thing?
All right, so we got it marked up, we got it pinned up. I'm going to have my model face himself in the mirror and give it a last look and see how he feels about it. Bonus tip, wherever your person is pulling at the fabric, that's where they're seeing a problem. So if you're fitting somebody else and you're making something for someone else and they're saying, it's great, I love it. Could you let me talk to the people? Face the mirror. I'm giving them a tip. Wherever they are pulling at the fabric, they're seeing an issue there. So whether or not they tell you that there's an issue there, they see an issue there. So where are you pulling at the fabric, babe?
Right here.
You're feeling like it's going a little floopy?
A little floopy, yes. The technical term is floopy, and it's going floopy.
And where else were you pulling?
Well, I was pulling here to try to get the floop out.
We may need to just cut this out in some fashion fabric eventually and see if the drape of the fashion fabric and the interfacing and the pad stitching and the specialty horsehair stuff that I bought for this actually changes the drape of the jacket. Because you know how much is going to go into this jacket? Do you know how many things I have to put in this jacket?
It's going to all be under the super heading love.
Super heading love. That might be the title of this video.
There you go.
Peace out, everybody.
Emphasis on love.
We'll see you next week, but probably not in this jacket, because I need a break from this jacket. I'm going to go write some notes.
She's going to see this later, and then it's going to make her really double down and do it because she has to prove me wrong now.
Get over here and make me a drink.
Bye, folks.